laugh, every smile, every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.
Hi. All right. Hi, beautiful people. If you have never been in here before, hey, Lynn, Chicago, I'm assuming you're from Chicago. If you've never been in here before, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you. My name is Celeste, and I am a therapist from Boston. And my goal is to shift the way you think. And I've been able to do that by talking to people that are doing things to empower other people. And I really enjoy this. It's Monday. We go on here Monday through Friday. Ever since March 23rd, I've been coming on live, talking to people that are doing things to empower other people. Starting in June on Wednesdays, I'll just be going live on my own. People said they missed my solution-focused content that I used to do on the podcast once a week. I used to just come on for like 12 minutes and kind of talk about some issues and things that we go through. And so I'm going to start that again. But before I bring on my special guest, I wanted to put up this crisis text line. So if you don't know, there are resources available if you find yourself struggling. And I know sometimes it's hard to ask for help. And but not asking for help can kind of keep us in a stuck place. And I don't want us to be stuck. So this is like just one free line. But you can also reach out to your local government and look at your city's website and kind of see if there are any resources that are going to be available in your area for whatever it is that you're struggling with. So that's something I just kind of wanted to say. I also wanted to put up this free wellness assessment. So if you go to celestetherapist.com, you can find this free wellness assessment. And it's a 10-minute talk that I give. I feel like there are so many different areas that we find ourselves stuck in and we don't know where to start, right? And so I really wanted to give people like an idea on the different areas. Maybe they never really thought about like their emotional health or their financial health or their social health. Maybe that's not areas you've really thought about, but then thinking about it, like maybe this is the area I really need to work on creating a plan. I feel like when we create a plan, things just start to look differently and we start to have a little bit of hope. I think there's hope, right? Hey, Missy. So I'm going to bring on my special guest. Before I do that, this is something that I'll just kind of keep letting people know. I created a way for people to stay connected with me through text because I know everybody doesn't do social media. Everybody doesn't do emails. And so I really wanted to yes, let's keep hope alive, Lynn. Yes. I really wanted to give people a way to connect with me so we can stay connected. So the number is 508 at the bottom, 327-8237. And I will, hey, Jameson, hey, Liz, thank you. You're so kind. I'm going to put the number here in the chat. I'm trying to do like a million things at one time before I bring on my guest because I don't want to mess up his shine. Stay connected with me, 508-327-8237. Now, the only thing I can't do, I'm doing good, thank you so much. Stay connected with me, text me now. If you text me now, I can't answer because I'm on live. But the only thing I can't do, I cannot give out any therapeutic advice. I'm licensed. It'll be a huge liability for me. Even with this podcast, it's not a replacement for therapy, but it is a way to help you get to your healing place. I truly believe that there's more than one way to get to our healing place. And I also know it's not a linear journey. There's going to be like a ton of zigzags across the way. And that's okay. As long as we're doing the work, as long as we are doing the action. And I know like it's so hard to do that during this time. But I really wanted people to learn how to do that. And Carl C. Scott's going to help me lead the way. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to bring on my special guest. I'm going to bring on my special guest so that he can, we're going to have a conversation like I always do. And he can kind of help us figure out what's going on. Hi, Carl. How are you? No, Carl C. Scott. You put C in there for a reason.
Carl C. Scott. Yes.
Because it was probably
I
a
have
lot
to make Yeah, because there's this guy who did Kung Fu back in the day, and his name was Carl Scott. He was in like a bunch of movies and stuff. And every time somebody looks my name up, they'll see somebody doing Kung Fu if they just put Carl Scott. So to distinguish the difference is Carl C. Scott, and my middle name's Cordell.
All right,
So
Carl C. Scott. Can you introduce yourself to the audience?
All right, what's up, audience? My name is Carl C. Scott. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I currently live in Maryland with my wife. I'm a 2019 counseling psychology graduate for my master's. Whoa, I did that thing. I did that. So, yeah, I did that. I'm a 2015 TEDx speaker. I spoke on losing your assumptions. That was back in the day. I had a great time talking about how people perceive young Black African American males a certain way. And I wanted just to challenge the narrative that just because you see stuff on TV, this is not this kid's end goal, okay? And that I wanted to be the beacon of hope for those young brothers that was there. And having that opportunity to speak on that platform was like one of those pivotal moments in my life that helped me to change from the way I was to the man that I was becoming. So doing that was just like so fun and an amazing time in my life. And then we got engaged 2017. I proposed to my wife, and we just got married last summer. So it's been a up and down ride, like, and that's probably one of my greatest achievements is marrying her. So,
oh, that's so sweet. We'll have to have you on for relationships next time.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love it.
So tell people about, so you just got your psychology degree, so I'm assuming that you want to be in the mental health field. Tell people about why you chose psychology and why you're so passionate about people.
So growing up in the Bronx, I was raised in, in an impoverished area where we didn't have a lot. And I realized that this was something that had been holding me back for so long, right? And I had to figure out what I wanted out of life, right? And the best way to do it was getting away from my environment, okay? So I left from New York in 2008 to go to Savannah, Georgia, where I got my undergraduate degree in behavior analysis and I minored in sociology. So learning about people, and I realized that where I came from was something that caused me so much trauma, and I didn't realize that until leaving away from it. And I realized that a lot of young brothers that were there were experiencing the same things, and they don't have that person to help them navigate through those difficult times. So I wanted to learn how to do that. So that's why I majored in behavior analysis, and then that's why I went on to get my master's as well. And I just wanted to be the person that you could look to as an example to say, despite where we came from, there's no limit to where we can go. And now I just wanted to be a beacon of hope for everybody, like anybody that may be feeling a little discouraged, anybody that may be feeling down. I want to be that voice. Like for some reason, I want to be a person who helps people to take that leap forward, and in the society we live in, it's saturated with negative energy, right? A lot of the times you are exposed to negative things before you're exposed to the positive things. So one thing I wanted my page and my platform to be was an abundance of positivity. Like, I just wanted to push out good energy so that for the world to have, because I know there'll be times where I'm at my lowest. When I was at my lowest, I just needed a little rope, for somebody to pull me up. And finding that little piece of rope could, change where somebody's going for the rest of the day, for the rest of their week, for the rest of the month. Just by hearing one little good positive like seed could change their whole trajectory. So that's why I do what I do on my page. Yeah.
Oh, that's super dope. Now, because you talk to people a lot and you've been kind of on this path for a while, what do you think the struggle people have with like the mindset of change? Because you were able to understand that your environment was a huge part of like your mentality and the way you thought things were going to be. But why do you think people struggle with change?
I think people struggle with change because they are stuck trying to impress people who aren't helping them get to where they really want to go. And they're
Mm-hmm.
so conditioned to that environment. Like I can't exceed myself outside of the two corners of my street.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not exposed to something better, you're not going to be able to change. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're continuously doing the same thing over and over, posting up on your block, on the front of the stairs and in front of your building, you're not going to be you're going to find yourself being complacent and you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
stuck there. And so the real reason why people don't change is because they don't take that leap of faith. And that's what I believe, that we're afraid to change too, because it forces us to be uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
like. And I knew, like, when I first left from New York and I went down to Savannah,
It was
when I
way different.
say it was different, like I didn't understand Southern hospitality. Like people were being friendly with me, and I'm like, yo,
Wait.
I don't know you. Like, hold on.
Hold on, wait, Carl. I swear. I moved to Hinesville, Georgia when I was
Oh, wow.
14, right down the street from Savannah.
Yes.
And when I went into the trailer park, people were speaking to me. I'm like, oh, that's our family. Like we know them. They was like, nah, like they just saying hi.
That
It
was
was
life changing. It was life changing for me. And to see people being friendly, like, oh my gosh, I can be nice. I can be nice. Like that was so warm. Like it warmed my heart. Like,
yeah. Not
my
initially,
mom,
I ain't gonna lie. It didn't warm my heart. It creeped me out at first. I was like, what is wrong with these people?
yes, like we're strangers. Like, yo, I don't know who you are. And it was crazy. My mom and we drove down there the first time, right? And in New York, nobody says yes, sir, yes, ma'am,
Nope.
none of that. And they're saying yes, ma'am, yes, sir. I'm like, I can have manners. I can be polite. Like that's so that shifted me so much, so much.
No, that's good. And I actually stayed and I would get in trouble by not saying yes, sir. And I was not being disrespectful. But it's a whole different level down south.
Yes,
So
yes,
being down south like that, hospitality and the change of environment and just seeing people like just be nice for no reason, like they're not asking you to do anything, they're just genuinely being nice. That helped you kind of shift your thought process a
yes.
lot.
It changed it. It changed it so much because it showed me that there's other ways of living. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought that there was only one way, and that was that I had street mentality. I was a street kid.
Mm-hmm.
I would do more for street credibility than I would do for respect in the classroom. So at the end of the day, I knew that once I learned that I could be friendly to people, that I didn't have to watch over my shoulders, that I could
Mm-hmm.
just live freely. That's when I knew that it was time for a change, and that change was possible.
What do you say? So I think that's awesome. Like, but you were able to go from like one state to another state. And I know that's not always a reality for people, right? And so like people that are listening to this that might find like some commonality in what you're saying, and they kind of feel stuck. And they're like, well, I can't like get up and go move down south right now. What kind of advice would you give to that person in that situation where their environment is the only option right now? Because you and I know that's a lot of,
Yeah.
the reality for some of us.
I think it starts with small steps,
Mm-hmm.
changing small steps. Like, don't try to do something major. Do little things to lead up to that major goal. Do
Mm-hmm.
something daily that helps you to change the trajectory of your life at this current time. You can't, because Rome wasn't built in a day, as cliche as that is, but you have to take the time to make that major change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like, and what I've done recently during the quarantine, right? I challenged myself to wake up a little bit earlier, and the first thing that I did was write down the dream that I had. So this was just an exercise for me to to change the way I was seeing the world at this current time. Like get up early, and the first thing I do is write the dream down that I have, if I could recall it. That's something that I've been practicing recently, and it's helped me because I get up and the first thing, I'm not going straight to social media. I'm not going straight to the news. I'm not allowing something negative to come in before I deposit some positivity out. And so while I'm reading the dream, it gives me the idea, like, what could I say today? What did I get from this dream? And then that's when I'll make my post in the morning.
That's dope.
Yeah, and that's something that I started doing. I did the dreams starting during the quarantine. I did it probably last year as well. But as far as the change goes for the minor steps, you got to do something different daily. Like a challenge to yourself. Like back when we were kids, we would always, a kid would be like, "I dare you to do something." Right?
We did it.
We did it, right? So dare yourself to
say
do
I
something.
won't. Say I won't.
Tell you, look in the mirror and be like, "Yo, say I won't do it right now." And those words of affirmation with yourself means everything. I have those. Sometimes you gotta have that conversation with yourself. Like, I dare you. I dare you be different than the person you was yesterday. I double dare you. Oh, you double daring me now, right? So,
you got to have that relationship with your internal self.
You have to. And if you don't, and you have to gas yourself up sometimes too. Like, I am great. I can do this. I can change.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of it no more.
Yes.
And just going.
I love that. And I tell people we have an internal world taking place inside, and a lot of us aren't tapped into it. So it's kind of happening without us, right? So something happens and we're not processing, we're not gathering our thoughts around it. And it just kind of keeps growing. And so now this faulty thing that may have started like this turns into this bigger issue that makes it harder. When you say that you suggest people kind of stay away from the news first thing in the morning and stuff like that, can you tell people the importance of depositing positivity into your spirit and what that kind of does to your system?
So when you deposit positive energy first, it allows you it creates a barrier, right? You forming a wall to protect you from negative stuff. My wife always says, if the first thing that you eat is something sweet on your stomach, it'll mess you up for the rest of the day. So we have to have something that's going to be good for your diet. So not only are you on a diet for your nutrition, but you're also on a mental diet. You're also on a diet that to enhance your weight. And all those type of things, you're on a diet. You can be on a diet for. So I'm on a positivity diet, right? So I have a regimen. I'm doing this early on in the morning, and I put it out there, and I'm sending that positive energy with the expectations that something that's positive is going to come back to me. And that's like the law of attraction. I read a lot of law of attraction books that talk about what you give out is what you get. And so if I can put out positive energy, I vibrate on a higher frequency, and now that's going to be coming back to me. So I think taking in positive stuff clears your mind too. Like it helps you to control limit your anxiety. Because we're living in a strenuous time right now. Like, not knowing what's to come because of the stay-at-home orders, depending on where you're living at, right? In Maryland, we're not coming out until June 8th, right? But it's not to say that it's affecting me or the people around here who can't go visit their family members in like different states because of the stay-at-home stuff. So you see that type of stuff, and it just puts you down. Like too much of that could break my back. Too much of it, like if I'm taking too much of that in, I'll be sitting there like, this is too much. I feel sad, and the rest of my day is affected because I took too much of this in.
On Periscope, Lynn says mind, body, and soul. And I think that's important to remember. An important thing for us to remember is that it's all connected. So as Carl's talking about sitting down, like watching something that affects him, but he's in touch with the process happening. A lot of us aren't really in touch. We'll get on social media and we'll see all these people doing some really dope things or something. And then maybe we're struggling, but we get off social media, we immediately get depressed. Not that we're not happy for the people doing the dope things, but I think that we don't understand how much like we start comparing right? Not knowing what their journey is, not knowing like what their mindset is. And so like we really have to start to understand what we're doing to cause some of the emotional stress that we are having. Because a lot of times it's the way that we're processing and thinking about the situation.
Yeah, most of the time it is. And and also like I to be honest with you, I just make my post and I get off. So like I'll do the post, right? And I'll be like, I'm done for the day, because if I continuously stay in that, I can come across something that's gonna mess my energy up. You know,
Absolutely.
like I might come across somebody, like seeing the guy who just got killed while he was running, that, and then the repost of
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah.
is traumatizing. You know,
Yeah.
it's very traumatizing to see it continuously. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll post my post, I'll say my good mornings to everybody, and then I'm off for until the next morning.
And
So
who has the power to do that, Carl C. Scott? Who
I'm
has
the
the
only
power?
me, like I got the
Yeah.
power. You know what I mean? I got the power. So like yeah, so I'm just,
I
just
know you
doing
know.
that.
I know you know. I'm just trying to tell my people that are listening to us that we each individually have power to make
Yes,
those like changes. It won't feel good at first, especially if we're so used to getting on social media or watching the news or whatever it is that we're doing. Those are just two elements of many different things that we could be doing that could be hindering our growth,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So that's super dope. Now, it's pandemic time. How have you been coping with this pandemic?
So I play video games with my nephews.
Mm-hmm.
So like their dad is incarcerated currently. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's my way of staying connected with my nephews. I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing the games with them, talking to them, making sure that they know that my presence is here, that I'm always
Mm-hmm.
there. Uncle Yabby is what they call me. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, they'll send me a text message, say Uncle Yabby when you get on the game. I'm like, all right, let me finish up a few things and I'll get on with you guys. So I'm doing that. Me and my wife, we take walks at least 3 to 4 times a week. We are getting
Nice.
outside. We go for a walk. We did 5 miles today, just walking and talking. So that's something that we've been doing. Um, and trying to stay proactive is what I've been trying to do. Like I got a lot of things that I have been wanting to work on. I finished my book. I finished the cover for a book.
Congratulations.
Yes, like so. I had a bunch of goals that I wanted to complete prior to all of this happening, and I was just like, you know what better time than to do it now? There's some things that I can work on, and I
Mm-hmm.
started working on it, and I finished it. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's just like, what do I want to do next is the question. And right,
Mm-hmm.
so what is, and I kept asking myself, what does my life look like post quarantine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
I had to answer that, like, am I gonna still be at the level that I was before, or am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna come out Super Saiyan? So
Mm-hmm.
like I had to, like, I use the Dragon Ball Z as a reference, but
Mm-hmm.
I just, did I want to level up or did I want to stay down? And I said I'm gonna level up,
Mm-hmm.
and gradually I see increases in my life. I see increases. I mean, I reached out to people who needed to be talked to when they didn't even anticipate me calling them. They're like, "Yo, you really reaching out to me? I thought you was too busy." No, and I've reached out to people who, like my good friends, friends that you don't get to talk to as much, just
Mm-hmm.
checking in on people. I've been doing that a lot, like
Mm-hmm.
I especially in the beginning of April, I lost 6 people that I was connected to because of COVID in New York City.
Wow.
So just to think, I lost a guy that I played basketball with. I lost my god sister. So those are the two. It was just heartbreaking to see that, right? And then to see so many friends were losing people, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna start calling everybody. Like
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes, okay? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's this could be the last time I talk to this person,
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. So I would reach out to them and be like, yo, what's up? Hey, how you doing? I'm like, and that would just warm people's hearts, and I feel like that's what I made. That's what I'm here for, just to make everybody else's load feel a little lighter. And that when I was going through therapy, I told that to my therapist, and she said, Carl, that's a great thing, but I just always want you to live in the moment, live for the now, right? And when she said that, it was like, yes. And now I live that way. Like I have to do it now. If it comes to my mind, I'm gonna do it, right? If I say I'm gonna reach out to somebody, I'm gonna reach out to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna follow up, I'm gonna follow up. If I say I'm gonna take a fast from social media, I'm gonna take a fast. And you have to live in that time now. And that's something that I've been practicing during this time. And just my wife caught me meditating the other day, right? She said, that was attractive. So you know what I'm doing now? She said,
You better get your meditation on.
you know, I've been meditating. I play my vibe. I play some high frequency vibes on the YouTube, and she came in the house. She was like, "What you doing?" And then she said it was attractive. Man, I'm getting an hour in a day now. Just right, man. So yeah, those are some things that I've been doing. So it's been helpful. Extremely.
Carl, I never heard someone talk about meditation as attractive, but I like it. Anything we could get the people to do to start meditating. Know that Carl C. Scott says that his lady said it was attractive.
Listen, my wife loved me. She loved me, and she said when she saw me meditate, I'm laying down on the floor in the living room, right? The vibes is on. She walks and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love this. You're attractive." and my love language is words of affirmation. So as soon as she said that, now I'm gassed up, man. I'm gassed up now.
No, that's good. So what I'm hearing from Carl, because I've been asking my guests around the pandemic how they've been coping. You've been taking it one day at a time, and you've been in the now. So you've just been trying to, and I think one thing I hear from you is a lot of action, right? And I think a lot of times we'll have these thoughts in our head. We'll know what's not well, we'll know what's not good, but the action piece is the part that we don't do well at. And I hear you like creating action steps when you start to realize that you want to make a change.
Yeah, you have to take the first step, right? The first step to going up the staircase, is endless. Once you take that first step, there's only one direction you can keep going. You keep going forward, and that's what I think I think that's the best way to do anything. Take it day by day. Do not rush your process, right? And don't try to live to the means of anybody else. Don't measure yourself on the rulers of anybody else. Just do it for the best that's for you. Do what makes you feel good. Do what makes you feel happy at that given moment and go from there. Don't worry about what's going to be happening 5 years from now. Don't worry about how this is going to impact you a year from now. Do it right now, and it'll help you get through the day. Because currently, it's so hard to think about what's going to happen after the end of the stay-at-home quarantine, because we don't know what the rules are going to be. We don't know what the world looks like after this, but we do know what we can control at this very moment is what we're doing right now, and how I can move forward. So taking that action, like to say, this is the goal for the day, wake up with a goal. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be as simple as brushing your teeth every day. Some people, like right now, we're staying at home and we might be restless. Like, I don't feel like getting out of bed, but make your goal to get up, and the first thing you do is brush your teeth. It could be something as simple as that. It could be something as simple as getting up and making your bed. It does not have to be something that, you don't have to solve the Rubik's Cube on your wake up.
You don't. No, you don't.
You could do something. So
no, that's dope. I like that. I was gonna ask you to give us some advice, but around like what we can do moving forward. But I think you just hit the nail on the hammer with the hammer on the nail with I love the fact that you say even if it's just brushing your teeth, right? And sometimes I think we guilt ourselves into saying, well, other people are able to do more than that, but you're not other people. And celebrate those moments that you do that like first goal that you're able to complete. Because when you celebrate the moments, then some people will say, when I get my psychology degree, I'm going to be good. Or when I get this job, I'm going to be good. But why is celebrating the moment so powerful for people if they can learn to do that? I know it's hard for some people.
So when you celebrate in the moment, it allows you to start obtaining multiple things. So like if you celebrate it right now, like I can do something else tomorrow and it's like a ball, it's like the snowball effect. Like if I keep adding on to this, like a snowball going down the hill, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now I'm unstoppable at this point. Like I want to be unstoppable. Let me be this. Let my goals, let my passion, let this energy and everything that I do daily lead up to the big snowball that can't be stopped going down the hill, and that's what I strive to achieve. So by doing that has been like one of the most healthiest things that I think has happened for my mindset. So it definitely helped shift the way I think.
Yay! I like that. This was a really good conversation. I'm like grateful to you for coming on. If you guys are listening to this on the podcast, and you have an Instagram account, go to Carl C. Scott. He is always, it's just nothing but positivity. And it's I like following accounts like his account because I can read it and it fills my spirit. It's like one of those things of many things that I'm doing to feed my spirit. And you definitely have those kind of words of encouragement. Is there anything you want to tell people before you go?
I just want to tell people to continue to listen to things that feed great energy into you, right? Continue to listen to Celeste's podcast. Continue to listen to things that make you better, and be the person who makes other people better,
Yes.
And that's what I think will be the best way of moving forward, and empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes before you think about or say something to condemn their situation. And that's the goal. If we could have universal empathy, I think the world would be a greater place.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so that's what if there's anything that I could offer advice is be empathetic to everybody,
Yes.
before we judge them.
Yes, that's good. Thank you so much, Carl C. Scott. This was an amazing conversation. What do you plan on doing with your degree?
So I'm taking my NCE on the 30th.
So wait, is it? Okay, we're in the same. Okay, that's dope. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How you feel about it?
I'm confident. Okay. I feel like I can get every answer right if I read it twice. So I feel like I could get it all right. I just got to read it twice. So I've been telling myself that. But yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident in myself. And if it doesn't happen, which I don't even feel comfortable saying if it doesn't happen.
Right.
But I'm ready for the test. And when it comes, I'll be able to get my LGPC, and then I'll be able to sit under somebody, and 3,000 hours later, I'll be able to get the next level up, and who knows from there? The sky is just the view right now for me.
Nice.
So the sky is
I love it.
Yeah. And then I'm releasing the book. So I got my mom's approval, and that was the only approval that I was waiting for. So it's edited and I'm ready to go. It's called The Changing Man.
What's the book about? What is it called?
It's called The Changing Man. So it's a reflective journey of how I got from my moments of being at the lowest points in my life to where I am now. And I just I give tools, and I share stories. I give change management in there. There's so much that I packed into the book. And like my mom read it, and when she said, this is my mom's word, she's like, Yabby, this is gonna be so good. And I was just like, and once she said that, I was just like, yes, I didn't need any approval from anybody else but my mama.
That's right. Hold on, why we don't get to call you Yabby? You've been saying Yabby.
Hey, call me Yabby if you like to.
Okay.
Call me Yabby if you like to.
All right, Yabby. No, that's dope. Congratulations. Keep me updated on the book. I would love to have you back on to talk about the book. I love highlighting dope people and sharing information. And I know that the way you are is because of where you've come from. There's been so much growth. And the fact that you put it together in the book for us, I got to tell the people.
I can't wait. For everybody to see it. And I just really think that when somebody reads it, they're going to see themselves in the story, regardless of their circumstances. They're going to be able to put themselves in the shoes in my shoes, but also they're gonna be able to feel it like it's their life. I'm telling you,
Wow. Okay.
it's that impactful.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have you back on next time. It's done. We're gonna hit each other. You're gonna hit me up and let me know. Well, I'm following you, so I'll see it. So I can't wait.
Yeah, and anybody that follows me from your account today, I'm gonna follow them back, and I'll be connected with them as well. So
Thank you.
just let me know that if you're watching this and you follow me right now, just say that you heard me on the pod, and I'll follow you right back, and I'll be in communication with you, and I'll follow you, and I'll be in communication like, yo, I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your transparency. I love it, and it's been amazing.
No doubt. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye. That was amazing. Let me change this view. So if you just came in, my name is Celeste. I'm a therapist from Boston, and I have my podcast. It streams live on Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube 5 days a week, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can always catch me talking to somebody. Sunday, I put out the schedule on who I'm going to be meeting with for the entire week. And so that's the way it goes. If you want to follow my actual podcast, just the audio part, and you can't be here, but you love these kind of conversations, bam, just look for Celeste the Therapist podcast, streaming on all podcasting platforms. And you will start, this is like episode 202. So there's 201 episodes to kind of get your mind right, where I'm either talking about a solution-oriented thing, or I'm talking to somebody else like Carl C. Scott, who's going to help us kind of shift the way we think. So thank you guys so much for rocking out with me. I could not do this podcast without you. I couldn't have this platform without you, because you guys have been rocking with me. So I am beyond grateful. Thank you, Missy. And here's my number to text me if you want to text and stay connected, because I know everybody's not on social media. So it's 508-327-8237. And let's stay connected that way. Hey, Jay, I plan on having, my goal is on June the 5th, the first Friday in June, I want to have an online party to celebrate my 100,000 downloads for podcasting. So I want to do that. So please stay connected, because I would love for you to pop in to my Zoom party on Zoom, just to kind of celebrate. Let's have a celebratory toast. Especially, thank you. I think it would be super dope. I'm excited about everything. So I'm going to let you guys go. Come back this week. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Jay, Missy, everybody that's rocking out with me on Periscope. Love you guys. Facebook and YouTube. Love you guys. I will see you guys mañana.
Every laugh, every smile, every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste the Therapist. Let's go.